What's up, guys? It's Coach Sparrow, also known as the Doctor of Defense, here with Coach Dooley. Today we're about to break down the point of attack, or what we like to call the POA. Now, before we get into the point of attack, we need to make sure you guys understand this is our philosophy. There's many different philosophies out there. However, we found success at multiple levels with these principles, with these rules. So we'll get right into it. Rule number one, you need to be proactive, not reactive at the point of attack. Oftentimes you'll see people sit in the same stance for 2, 3, 4 seconds. That is totally against what we believe in. Number one, be proactive, not reactive, says you must be in a lead foot stance to be proactive. We want to start a hand length away from the basketball. We do not want to touch the basketball. We do not want to touch the chest. That's because when we're proactive, we're moving forward. We're getting inside the offensive player's bubble or triangle. We are only allowed to stay in this position, in this bubble or triangle, for a second. We're trying to pop the bubble and get right back out. Every time we're proactive, we create space. We never stay inside the player's bubble when we see his chest and he's a threat. Now, when we're proactive, we are not doing it on one foot. It's going to get us off balance. He's going to blow by us, open us up, put us in rotation. Every time we're proactive, it's on 2 feet. Whether I jab or I just go hand to retreat or jab and switch, we always create space on 2 feet. We are trying to speed the offensive player up into us, into our chest. If we stay in the bubble, he's more than likely going to open us up. We're going to pick up our third foul and we're beat. Every time we are proactive, we are looking to speed the offensive player up. We're on 2 feet. We create space. That way, if we do speed him up, we're going to win the point of attack with our chest, and we're going to win it in the mid-range. We are not trying to win the point of attack here. We are not trying to win it in the paint. That's too late. Somewhere in the 15 to 17-foot range. Rule number one, be proactive, not reactive. Now, a lot of people ask us this, well, Coach, you can't just jump around all game. It's not what we're asking you to do. We're asking you to understand your personnel, which is rule number two, know your personnel. So for instance, a lot of times you'll see players that hear a coach say, force him right, and they'll sit in their stance for 2 seconds and show the player the right. Even though the right is his weak hand, that does not mean we're going to be reactive. It doesn't go with rule number one. Rule number two, know your personnel. Rule number one says be proactive, not reactive. So for instance, he may be a left-handed player, but we may show him his left hand first, be proactive, take it away. We are trying to win this situation. We are not trying to let anybody roll our hips. We are not trying to play defense from hip downwards. That's not what we're trying to accomplish. We are trying to win the situation. In order to do that, we must be proactive and know our personnel. So, a very good way that you can fool an offensive player by being proactive is show him his strong hand, which right now is his left hand, and then after 1, maybe 2 seconds in the same stance, we're going to jab the offensive player, create our space, and win the point of attack right here. We call this the jab and switch. So coach, as soon as I jab, I want you to try to turn the corner, try to beat me, and I'm going to try to win the point of attack with my chest. I'm going to jab and create. All right? Very simple. Now, if he's a right-handed predominant player, maybe we show him his right hand. All right, remember, we're not in the bubble. And the reason why I'm allowed to put my foot outside of these mats is because it's outside of coach's shoulder frame. It's still going to give me enough time to win the point of attack here. If I would start here at his sternum, it's going to roll me open, open my head. So, predominantly right-handed player, I'm going to show him his strong hand for a second, and then I'm going to take it away. All right? Another way we can be proactive, we call it hand to retreat. This is the only one where we'll accept closing in the bubble for a split second, hand into the shooter's face to a retreat. Again, just because he's a shooter, we are still trying to win the point of attack. We'll get to that in rule number 3. Know your personnel is number 2. Be proactive, not reactive is number 1. Here's a quick hand to retreat. Trying to get outside. Notice my back foot is all the way at 15 feet. That way, if you were to roll this foot open, I'm still going to chest him out with the point of attack. Gives me an opportunity. Now, another thing that happens when we're proactive, we We may speed a ball handler up, or we may get them to be weak with the basketball. Similar to boxing, if I throw this punch, he's gonna get weak, or he's gonna look away. As soon as I see a hip or a back, that is the only time we are allowed to stay in this bubble, in this triangle, for more than a second. We can close some space and active, put ball pressure on him, but as soon as he becomes a threat, we need to create space. Very important. See a chest, create space. See a hip, close space. See a chest, create space. Very, very important. Now, rule number 3, and something that across all levels, in all countries, NBA, international, college, high school, there's a very big epidemic going on, and it's something that we are totally against. And that is not only putting a hand up on shooters, but jumping at shooters. Rule number 3 says don't jump. And while that's to help us never get out of our stance, it's also so we can disrupt the shooting pocket of the opposing player. Remember, the point of attack says we're trying to win at the mid-range. However, when he shoots the basketball, if he pump fakes, I get out of my stance, I'm gonna lose that point of attack as well. So what we practice in a very simple drill for you is coach is just gonna roll this ball, I'm gonna be in a lead foot stance, and I'm gonna try to see if I can't get a fingernail on the basketball. We are not looking to necessarily strip block the basketball, but we're looking to be disruptive in the shooting pocket. Again, we're being proactive. We're not waiting for somebody to shoot the basketball, release it, and put a late hand up, a lazy hand up. If you think about the pros and the cons of jumping at the basketball, the cons outweigh it very heavily, okay? Third foul, flyby, giving up passing lanes. Nothing good comes about it. 1% of the time you might block that basketball. If you do, it's probably going out of bounds, side out to the opposing team. However, if we stay in our stance, even if I miss this opportunity, I'm there for a perimeter block out. I stay in my stance. He doesn't pump fake me. I don't waste energy. Very, very important. Now, we have a saying, you must be like a snake in the grass. If you know that snakes are in the grass, you're not going to go in the grass. So I am not keeping my hand here like a lot of people see it when you're trying to get a 5 count in high school basketball. He'll never shoot that ball anyway. I'm simply trying to keep my range. Remember, we're supposed to be a hand length away from the basketball. I'm not touching this basketball. I'm a hand length away. He doesn't even see my lead hand. And then I look to strike. I look to strike on 2 feet so I can create space. I never strip block on 1 foot. Rule number 3, do not jump. Rule number 4, start wide, stay wide. This is a huge one, very, very important. If my stance is this width, a little outside of my shoulder frame, I not only want to maintain this width, I probably want to get a little wider. The only way that can occur is if I have proper technique. Most kids have heard of a push step or a reach step. However, they have incorrect technique. What's going to happen for most people, and this is at all levels, they're going to look to push this way with this foot, but they're not going to reach and widen their stance with their outside foot. What that causes them to do is have a false step in their technique. Coach Dooley were to rip right. Simultaneously, I'm going to push off of this foot, this hip, but I'm also going to reach so I can widen my base. Coach Dooley is going to rip to his right, and we're going to show you what most people have in their technique, which is a false step. They forget to reach. They'll push, they'll take a little step, their third step comes and it narrows their stance. So now they've taken 3 steps to move approximately 2 feet. That's why you'll see a lot of people almost forfeit the point of attack, small step, close, and now they have to roll their hip. Start wide, stay wide. Very simple way to work on this is to take 2 numbered mats, 4 and 3. If coach were to give me a number, 4 is going to be my reach foot, and I'm going to try to widen my stance through 4. Now, I can work in a lead foot stance, work on being proactive. If he says 3, I'm going to widen my stance, work on my push and my reach. Now, something very detailed that is just my opinion. Again, this is our philosophy. I prefer to roll my toes out and push through my hip. Some people say that opens your hip. For me personally, I get more power and more balance when I open my toe ever so slightly to push and reach. That's my choice. But regardless, if I can start wide and stay wide the entire time, and I don't roll my hips, I have a really good shot at winning the point of attack. Now, 3 very good drills that you guys can work on. Drill number 1, it's a very simple one-on-one drill at the point of attack. A coach would be holding the offensive player's shirt. Let's not pull it out, we don't want anybody to see. We just want to hold it ever so slightly so he can feel it. I'm working on being proactive. It might be a hand to retreat, it might just be at the shooting pocket, switch stance, clear my space, close my space. At some point in time, Coach Dooley, the coach is going to let go of his shirt. Offensive player must go immediately. I am trying to win in front of the foul line. Win with the chest, open my stance, keep it wide. He can go either way. Let's just go half speed, coach, and show him. All right, his feet will be right on these mats. Again, I could be here. It's not inside the triangle. However, our rule says to be a hand length away. So now I'm in a good position. All right, he's going to move whenever the coach would let up his shirt. I'm trying to understand, keep my width, and win the point of attack. The second way we could play is have coach turn around. I see his back. I know my rule says see a back, close space, see a chest, create. So now I start close. I'm harassing him. As soon as he turns, I create space. We're playing live one-on-one. Another way we play at the point of attack, coach is going to take, this is when we'll clear these out. Coach is going to take a dribble to himself. He's going to bounce the ball and look to rip off the skip. All right, some of you might call it something different, but anytime the ball reversal is going, we're looking to attack, pick our feet up off the ground. In this drill, I must start with my heel on the foul line. Now, if you can in a game, it's very important. Let's say it's reversal from the wing to the top of the key to the wing. Your head turns. You gotta get yourself in the stance very quick. That guy is using the momentum in the ball reversal to attack you. He's trying to read your top foot like most people do. So, as coach throws his basketball, if I can switch my stance, it might just throw him off on his read, and it's just gonna give me the upper edge. Rule number 1 says be proactive, not reactive. Coach is gonna bounce the ball, look to attack on his feet, and I'm gonna try to chest him out. Very simple way to play one-on-one. Last but not least, and this is something that I've actually seen with my teams over the last 3 years, we've struggled when somebody hesitates the basketball. We have a rule at point blank period. When you see somebody hesitate, we're looking to create about 6 inches of space, not with our back foot, but both. Anytime somebody looks to hesitate at you, we look to create space. Most of the time after a hesitation, it's a push dribble, somebody's looking to shoot the gap. Hesitation is causing you, or the purpose of a hesitation is to freeze you. It's the last thing you want to do. See, a hesitant, create. If he looks to shoot, you say, coach, but you're giving him a hesitant to a shot. When you create space on 2 feet, you can close that distance in a split second. Okay, I can still disrupt the shooting pocket. Remember, I'm not jumping at the ball. So it doesn't matter how far away I am. I can get close space from this distance if I'm good enough to know that he's shooting. All right? So a drill we do is one-on-one hesitation. Coach gets 3 hesitations. He can attack at any point in time out of those hesitations. I'm just looking to develop the habit of creating space when I see the start of the hesitation. So I see it, and then we play. Okay? I'm never going to get beat off the bounce and let my hip roll open when I see a hesitation. The point of attack, how important is it? In my opinion, outside of communication, it's the single most important reason why you will win or lose basketball games. To give you an example, I have charted the point of attack for the last 3 seasons at Reading High School, a place where I've had the opportunity and the privilege to coach. And in almost all of our losses, we are 78-16 in the last 3 years. In almost all of our losses, we are less than 65% at the point of attack. In our championship run, when we won and were fortunate enough to win a PIAA state title, we were over 75 in the playoff run at the point of attack. If you guys are giving up, being reactive,
rolling your hips, trying to play in rotation. It's a very hard thing to do. But if you can keep your shape, constantly win the point of attack by staying wide, knowing your personnel, being proactive, you have a very good shot at winning every single basketball game.